Today marks the 1 year anniversary of my channel, and to those who have subscribed to my channel and those that have followed me on social media, I would like to say thank you for supporting me. Amazing how time passes by so quickly, from my first episode, which was Guys God Bless the Ring, dealing with 2 game marathons, and then reviewing Cuphead just a few weeks ago. And I'll continue to entertain you viewers by sharing the experiences of the games that I played. So let's say we start this anniversary video off with something basic like a shooter. Since my younger years, I became enamored with space shooter games like Galaga, Galaxian, and Gradius. These games are designed to kick my butt while at the same time entertain me in attempts of getting a high score. As years passed, shooters continued to rise in popularity in the 90s until the 2000s, when it's slowly becoming scarce to the point of being niche. At least here in the US, but it's still going strong in Japan. However, in today's episode, we're not taking on space aliens, but rather we're playing as fighting game characters in a shooter setting. So for this anniversary episode, we're going to be taking a look at NeoGeo Heroes Ultimate Shooting for the PlayStation Portable. SNK, we know them as the game company that rivals Capcom in the fighting game department and have many IPs in their library, most notably the King of Fighters series, known for 3-on-3 fights and a highly diverse character roster. I'll get on the 411 on the SNK Corporation in the future, but like Capcom, SNK isn't always about the fighting game genre, as they also did platformers like Magician Lord, run and gun like Metal Slug, or space shooters like Osmo Wars, which is said to be the company's first video game. In 2010, SNK, under the name SNK Playmore, released King of Fighters Sky Stage for the arcades, a vertical shooter in which you control any of the 6 characters in an attempt to stop interdimensional activities of both Rugal Bernstein and Orochi. This game eventually got a release on the Xbox 360. Like Street Fighter, King of Fighters will often have a simple plot of having a tournament take place, followed by a villain that is willing to use the abilities of those fighters for world conquest. And given that Ultimate Shooting is an obvious change of genre, the plot is still the same. Take on the villain and save the world. So what say we take to the skies with NeoGeo Heroes Ultimate Shooting for the PlayStation Portable. I don't think there's any need for me to explain the plot, as the game is short. Basically, Professor Brown from the game World Heroes summons fighters throughout time in order to stop a rival corporation from distorting history upon launching their own weapon, GeoGigas, who is an enhanced version of NeoGigas, a shape-shifting boss in the World Heroes series. You have 10 characters to play as, each with their own types of attacks. You have the initial 6 from Sky Stage, which are Kyo, Iori, Terry, Mai, Athena, and Kula. But you also have 4 new characters. A female pilot named Uni 8, who pilots the Sid 3, a ship from the SNK game Alpha Mission, Akari from The Last Blade, Iroha from Samurai Showdown 6, and Marco from Metal Slug. You have 4 different button functions: circle for standard attack, X for a charge attack, square to revoke, and triangle for your desperation move. Standard attacks can destroy some enemy shots, and your charge attack depends on how long you hold the button and release, and it shows on the gauge on what level of attack you unleash, and it needs to cool down before you can unleash another one. Provoke can eliminate enemy shots on screen that are about to hurt you and causes the screen to temporarily go red, which also causes enemies to relentlessly attack you until that move cools down. And desperation attacks are basically super attacks that can cause massive damage and destroys enemy attacks that are on screen, but you only have a limited number of them until you continue from a game over. It may seem like a simple concept, and it kind of is, but don't think for a second that this game is easy. Oh no, even on very easy mode, later stages will have more enemies that will spawn and shoot at you, or bosses like Rugal Bernstein to rush forward and attack you. I mean, there's a reason why they're called manic shooters, as enemies would like to come from all sides and fire near-endless barrages of bullets, requiring the player to dodge overwhelming numbers of enemy projectiles by finding that one tiny safe spot, called for still more consistent reactions from players, and hope for the best. If you think fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 are the only genre people would rage quit upon, manic shooters like this, or other shooters like Dodonpachi, will cause you to give up even faster. Fortunately for you, your continues are infinite, so no matter how many times you lose, just press start to return back into the fight, and heck, if you really want an easier time, you can just cheat the game by activating Infinity, so that you don't take any damage at all from anybody. Many of the stages branch out, with each having a different boss, so if you wish to have access to them, just quit and replay that stage again until you're given the option to select a path to take, giving the game some replay value if you want to see what boss you'll be taking on next, or what ending you'll get, as there's 3 different final stages. Aside from story mode, players can choose to test themselves in a challenge mode. 2 known options is the survival mode against all bosses, and a shooting mode that limits or tests players for their best rankings. Using wireless connection, 2 players can also stage multiplayer competitions with one another, and the competition settings are the same as KOF Sky Stage. And speaking of which, you also have the option to play the port of the original KOF Sky Stage at any time. There is also a museum mode, which features profile information and artwork for each character, as well as a jukebox to listen to the many tracks this game offers, which is a nice feature as some of the tracks are nice remixes, like your match against Athena. Visually speaking, the graphics are not that bad, but nothing too special. But other PSP games would have graphics that are better designed, such as Crisis Core, but the artworks in the game are excellent. I've mentioned how nice the music is, but the sound effects like explosions are not as good as other shooters like Dodonpachi. Then again, most SNK games, at least King of Fighters 94 through 2001 and SVC Chaos, don't really have good sound effects, except some techniques that would sound impactful. Overall, I actually enjoyed this game, but the replay value is definitely low for me. While it's great to see a concept of fighting game characters taken to the skies to save the world, in my own opinion, sure, it can be challenging, but definitely not in the levels of any of the games from the company Cave or Ikaruga, for instance. So, to that end, I'm going to give this game a 7. And even though it's great to see great unlockables like a gallery, a jukebox, various characters you can play as in the game, in my opinion, there are still better shooters than this. But if you actually enjoy this game, then, hey, more power to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking that this game is actually an odd choice for me to review for an anniversary video. And I'll be honest with you, it actually is. But only because I actually came a little bit unprepared, for lack of a better term. And what I mean by that is that a week and a half ago, I had to document PAX South for my convention documentary video, which I'm still working on. And I also had to record footage of the beta demos of both Dissidia Final Fantasy NT and Metal Gear Survive for my Trials show. So my apologies to your viewers if this video is kind of bland. I know it's an odd choice for me to use this game as an anniversary video, and I hope to find something worth discussing in the near future. But if by any chance you like this video, well, all I can say is thank you. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to follow me on social media on my Facebook page. And don't forget to share it with your friends if by any chance they like this game or if they like my past reviews for this. Until then, this has been Musashi X. I bid you all farewell. Take care and stay tuned.